Back to the University of the Western Cape. Yes, Morning Live is here in the Western Cape, and we're celebrating National Science Week, and it's of course a celebration of and it goes countrywide. And we spoke to the Minister of Department of Science and Technology, Mr. Naledi Pando, about the celebrations and what is in store about this celebrations going out 77 around the country. Now let's talk to the Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille. We cannot come to the Western Cape and not speak to our host. Ma'am, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Talk to us about being the host of National Science Week and what that means for the Western Cape.
Well, the University of the Western Cape is a very good choice to host National Science Week. It's doing some very cutting-edge, innovative things in science. It's got a very good faculty. I have just, for example, watched a process of hydrogen being turned into electricity, which is mind-blowing for me. So it is the perfect place to be and to celebrate the role that science must play in our future. Everybody knows this week that politics plays a huge role in our future, but not nearly enough people know how important research is, how important scientific innovation is, and how important it is to raise the next generation of scientists, of engineers, of innovators. And that is what Science Week celebrates.
How do we make science attractive to youngsters, the grade 11s, the grade 12s, who will be visiting the National Science Week celebrations?
Well, getting them here is a good start because they will see things that blow their minds like it blows my mind, and I wish I could start again at school and study all of these things because none of this was known, of course, when I was at school. The second thing is we've got to make sure that people are properly taught in schools. And the sad truth is we don't have enough teachers who are able to remain on the cutting edge and innovate in classrooms. But that is where another great technological and scientific innovation comes in, and that is e-learning. And that is why e-learning and getting every school on broadband and getting devices into every school is one of the game changers of the Western Cape government. We want every single child to have a good teacher. We don't believe that in the modern age of connectivity and media that any single child should be sitting with a mediocre teacher. And once you have sparked that interest in a child through brilliant teaching and through them being able to master the curriculum, if they're prepared to do the work for it, because no one's going to master anything if they're not prepared to put in the hard yards, then we will be unlocking the potential of so many kids who previously haven't had the opportunity.
Let's talk about the Western Cape and what it's doing to address these challenges and how far you are in addressing these challenges.
Well, we've put an enormous emphasis on maths education particularly. Maths is the language of science. And so people need to know mathematics to do science successfully. And as you have to know English or isiXhosa or Afrikaans or whatever it is, to be able to learn other subjects, so you need maths to be able to do science properly over time. And so we're putting an enormous emphasis on maths and literacy and numeracy. And then, of course, by the end of this financial year, almost every school in the Western Cape will have broadband connectivity. And then our e-learning game changer is also focusing very specifically on mathematics to ensure that children who have the aptitude are able to get access to the best learning resources, the best teachers, and fulfill their potential. So our job as a provincial government is to ensure that education works, basic education works. And of course, tertiary education is under national government, but we have to provide the young people with the basics who really understand and are ready to move into this big stuff behind me here.
What is the stuff behind us? You were taken through that. How much of that did you grasp?
Well, I'm not sure the professor will think I grasped it, so I'm a bit nervous about explaining what he explained to me. But this is an incredible innovation in which platinum is used in the process of turning hydrogen into electricity. And it starts with water, which is H2O, as you know, hydrogen with a valency of 1, oxygen with a valency of 2. H2O gives you water, hydrogen and oxygen, but they start with the water and then they disaggregate it into the hydrogen, and then something else happens, please don't ask me what, and it ends up as electricity. You see, this is why it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because nature has given us all the resources to solve all of our problems if we can just discover their potential.
And, the importance of biodiversity as well. We've spoken about it throughout the morning. How do we ensure that everybody is almost on the same page?
Well, we have to do that by first understanding that we're all on the same planet. And we all have a right to be here, but with every right comes a responsibility. So we have a responsibility sharing this very small, tiny blue planet in this unimaginably huge universe, that we must leave it in a better condition than we found it. And that brings with it an extraordinary sense of awareness, that every other living thing is here for a reason. And every other living thing is here because it adds something to the totality. We may not know what. I mean, certainly none of our forefathers knew that you could take water and turn it into electricity. In fact, many of our forefathers didn't know what electricity was and how it could transform your life. So there is so much that we still have to discover that we haven't got a clue about, frankly. And we must treasure this incredible diversity of our world because, A, it has a right just as much as we do, and B, it has a role which we may not even understand yet.
All right. Premier, thank you so much for spending the morning with us.
Thank you very much.
Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille, speaking to us about the province's celebrations in National Science Week. All right, let's take a quick ad break. We're back after this.